Needs of man: shelter, clothing, and food. But many will not hesitate to assure you that food is the most important, because when you don't eat, you begin to take ill, and if something is not done immediately, in fact, you will have hazardous health, and then something unfortunate may occur. That is why everyone takes food seriously. But before the food gets to our table, it must be cultivated somewhere. That's how we can say from farm to table. How well is Nigeria situated at this time? Every day we go to the market. We pick up things, we purchase things. We talk about inflation, talk about transportation, talk about accessibility and affordability. But there's a journey, there's a value chain. Today on Weekend Deal, our task alongside you is to talk about our food in Nigeria and the path to securing it, not just for today or for tomorrow, but for all time. Not just for us and our children, but for all our children's children for a long, long time to come. It's our hope to grow a garden of hope, to cultivate a future of abundance, and to harvest a generation and a country and a nation where everyone has something to eat and no one goes hungry. My name is Thelma Obaze. Welcome. It's Weekend Deal, your effervescent weekend breakfast show. And guess, of course, no need to guess, she's right here. Pay whoa, Queen Elohi. And we're smiling because we've already had something light this morning.
Yes. Thelma, you walked into the studio and I was like, what's going on here? You look amazing. You look beautiful.
It's all about the path to food security.
All about that path, right? Because, I mean, statistics show that the number of food insecure Nigerians continue to increase from 66.2 million Nigerians in 2023 to about 100 million Nigerians in 2024. I mean, with a country that is blessed with a vast land, fast, fertile land, I must add, to a country that has a good number of farmers. Why are we having this challenge? How do we surmount it? How do we get the right path to food security? These are more we'll be looking at today because our focus is all about food security. It is your favorite weekend show, Weekend Deal, coming to you from the network service of the NTA. And like Thelma said, my name is Patience Eloy Abba. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, it is Weekend Deal, your favorite weekend show on TV. And this weekend, our focus is on the path to food security. What exactly is food security? Let me read it out. Food security is the state of having reliable access to sufficient quantity of affordable, nutritious food for well-being. The food has to be nutritious. That's the takeaway. And we all know that as far as food security goes in Nigeria, we have an urgent need for effective intervention. To tell us more, Francis Ogbe has put together the background. Let's watch.
Agriculture plays an important role in Nigeria's economy, serving as the backbone of rural livelihoods and contributing significantly to the nation's gross domestic product, GDP. As a sector that employs over 70% of the Nigerian workforce, agriculture holds the potential to alleviate poverty and enhance food security. The diverse climatic conditions across Nigeria provide a favorable environment for the cultivation of a wide variety of crops and the rearing of livestock.
Agriculture is more or less like our strength. It's unfortunate that a lot of people are looking at the oil and gas. Agriculture has a basic effect to the world at large because, first of all, we eat on a daily basis. We grow greens on a daily basis. There are numerous activities surrounding agriculture. So we have walked away from agriculture, this present generation. That is why we are still having a little inch. Because I could remember back then when we were in school, you go to school, you must have a farm. But today's generation, you don't see that happening anymore. We must go back to agriculture. We must go back to farming because I'm a farmer. If you are rearing poultry, you're a farmer. If you're doing greens, you're a farmer. In Kaduna State, I have a ginger farm. So these are things you do that add value to the system.
Despite these advantages, Nigeria continues to face significant challenges in achieving food security, necessitating a comprehensive approach that addresses the root causes of food insecurity while leveraging emerging opportunities.
Insecurity is one of the most key issues that is affecting our farming system. Even the farmers are even scared of going to farm. So there is need for the Ministry of Agriculture to partner with the security agency to protect the farmers. The farmers have run away from farming.
Financing is crucial in supporting these sustainable agricultural initiatives. Access to affordable credit can enable farmers to invest in modern farming equipment, high-quality seeds, and other inputs that enhance productivity.
The agric loan should be really tackled. They should face it squarely. The way they give the loan through NISA is not really working. It doesn't help. If they want to give loan to farmers, they must set up a portal or a platform that can oversee the agric loan. Most of the people that are assessing this agric loan are rich men. You are asking a poor man who does not have a house to where he's staying, who has the idea of farming, to go and bring collateral to assess a loan. He or she will back out. So there is need for them to work, see how they can carry the local farmers along.
Despite these challenges, there are emerging opportunities in sustainable agriculture that can help Nigeria achieve food security.
Early January, the CBN gave 100 billion fertilizer loan to state government, which was sent to various states in the country for fertilizer. So, but my fear is that when they get this fertilizer, who are they sharing it? When they give it to state governors, is federal government monitoring it? Because what they did was to hand it over to state governors. Some governors have conscience. They can share it to the right farmers. Some will keep it. Some turn it to business.
Nigeria's path to food security requires a multifaceted approach that addresses the challenges of climate change, infrastructure gaps, and inefficient distribution networks.
I know of a friend who does farming with my humble self here. He can preserve food, package for a month, for 30 days without spoil. Whatever you want to preserve, it will preserve it. That food will not get spoiled without microwaving. So I will encourage such people financially, morally, to see how farming will become one of the things that everybody will be interested in. But right now, most of us are not interested in farming because we feel it's a dirty job.
With concerted efforts, Nigeria can achieve food security, reduce poverty, and ensure a prosperous future for its citizens. Weekend Deal today is captioned Path to Food Security in Nigeria. Weekend
Deal! Agriculture needs young blood. We need a succession, as our brothers and sisters do it, they hand over for a continuum, because a nation must be fed indeed. We heard there that it say young people move away because they think it's a dirty job.
But everything is evolving. the way our grandfathers practiced agriculture, it has evolved. These days, everything is mechanized.
Indeed.
There are modern ways of doing, and I'm sure there's the Internet of Things as far as farming is concerned. So, I mean, come on board, young people. There's Internet of Things.
Yeah.
We can do it in a very, without your steez on
And
steezing.
indeed, no farmer, no nation.
No nation, no
no
food.
food, no good people. Okay, so let's go to Damaturu. We touch base with them. What is happening in terms of the path to food security for a great country like ours, Nigeria? Tell us more, please.
Climate change is resulting into a very high rate of land degradation, causing enhanced desertification and nutrient-deficient soil.
Yobe State is an agrarian community. The effect of climate change will be very, very prominent on the agricultural production, particularly crop production. And because of the rising temperature and other anthropogenic issues, the climate will affect crop yield. Usually, in an ideal situation, rainfall is being received for 3-4 months during the rainy season, where crop will grow within that span of time to give positive yield. But because of the effect of climate change, rainfall has become very, very erratic. The rainfall pattern is invariable. It is not steady. At times, you can get beyond rainfall beyond normal, which will affect the crop negatively, or you are going to experience a drought where you don't have the required rainfall for crop to yield positively. All these are effects of climate change in our environment, particularly in relation to Yobe State, where we have the tangible number of our people who are farmers in their means of livelihood.
Every wet season presents unique set of challenges and opportunity for farmers, and the combination of climate-related factors can result in reduced crop yield, influence the distribution and population of pests, diseases, weeds, and lower agricultural productivity.
To address food issues and to ensure food security is to now get crops or seeds that are drought resistant, that can yield within short period of time, that require little amount of moisture to do well. Once this thing has been provided with a proper enlightenment of the farmers by extension workers, then we can be able to sustain and have a food secured community or environment.
By preparing carefully, managing the challenges that come with the wet season, and using the right strategies and mindset, farmers can maximize their yields and reap the benefits of wet season.
When it rains, it might take 6 weeks, 2 months. You cannot see another rainfall. If you plant some crops, before the crops grown, you will see it will dry. You have to replant another crop before you will get it. The method we do observe, you can get a crop that early variety crop, so that if you plant, even if there is no extension of the rainy season, at least you can get what you can get.
Our main problems as farmers is these pests. They are all over the place and affecting our crops. This is the second time we are planting our crops because they were eaten by pests in the past. So we are doing it all over again.
Adapting to climate change in agriculture requires implementing strategies such as developing climate-resilient crop varieties, improving water and irrigation practices, adopting conservation agricultural techniques, and enhancing pest and disease monitoring and control.
Okay, so much going on in the studios. You will know why I'm smiling soon, because our guests are here. They're farmers themselves. They've gotten their hands dirty, feeding Nigerians, ensuring there is food on our table. And our first guest that I have the pleasure of introducing is Alhaji Ilyasu Bulama. He's the National President, National Association of Cattle Dealers, Processors and Marketers. Let's see his profile.
Weekendil, Alhaji Bolama. Great to have you. And we have another guest, a friend of the family. Indeed, we make very good friends. People who are feeding the nation, come on, they are friends for life. Let's meet, greet, and welcome Architect Kabir Ibrahim, FNIA. He's the National President of Farmers Association of Nigeria. You're welcome to Weekendil. Once again.
Thank you.
We've been doing this together, but the fact we're talking about the path to food security at this time means that there's some concern in some quarters. Let's weigh in on that. Should there be cause for concern?
Well, definitely. There are many threat factors to the attainment of food security, and I will reel them out so that, this is almost cliche now. We have a lot of insecurity around where the farmlands are. The farmers are not able to seamlessly go to their farms. And of course, you can see climate change. We have flooding, we have droughts in so many places. We have very low mechanization in this country. And there is so much corruption in the food system. Since COVID-19, we've had challenges in the food system. COVID-19 was a global one, but we had our own problems. Like I mentioned, insecurity is a very, very serious threat factor to the attainment of food sufficiency and then food security. Once the smallholder farmer cannot produce appreciably to feed his family and then feed others, and also be able to scale up to even export, the country, or a country like Nigeria with over 200 million people, will definitely be in dire need of food. Because our position in Africa is such that we also feed the countries in this hemisphere. Yes. So we need to work very hard. Everybody needs to put their hand on deck. The government has to invest more, and it has to incentivize people. And the people coming into agriculture should learn to do it as a business, not subsistence. And that way we can get food security. I mean, in other climes, all the countries that call themselves food secure are not doing agriculture for subsistence. They are doing agriculture as a business. There are very small countries in the world that are doing great jobs in agriculture. Take the Netherlands, for instance. You know, about 70 million people, 55,000 farmers, farming all year round, and they are able to get income from agriculture far in excess of every other country except probably the United States. So Nigeria has a lot of cultivable and irrigable land, 90 million hectares thereabout. We have a very young population, people who can till the land if need be, and then we can also deploy mechanization. We can look in-house, in country, to do that, to develop that, because that's what Brazil did. Okay. Brazil, until recently, was also called a third world country, and today it is a net exporter of food.
Amazing.
And look at Argentina. Argentina got into problem just like us. Right now, we are even buying maize from Argentina. So we can do a lot for our agriculture, and then we can feed our people. And then we must think in terms of, today we are barely 200 million people. In about 26 years, we will be 400 million.
Double.
True,
So
double.
what is going to happen? We must work assiduously to be sure that there is enough food in the country. The recent protests by youngsters is an indication that all is not well in this country.
People are hungry.
But
Literally.
good thing you are here. We'll
Yes,
delve into that in
that.
the course of the discussion.
Okay, Alhaji Ilyasu Bulama. Let me say again, it's a pleasure to meet you. And you will know why soon. Meat is fast becoming food for the rich, because we can't put meat in our soups and our whatever food we are cooking anymore. A kilo of meat today, beef, is going as high up as 5,005. What is happening with our cattle? What is happening? Why are we not getting meat? Why is it so expensive? What is going on?
The reason why meat is so cost in Nigeria is because of the low production.
Hi.
Due to bandits and other insecurity issues, like he mentioned, there are the causes that makes the production low. In our own association,
Yes.
we are Association of Cattle Dealers, Producers, Processors, and Marketers. This includes the production aspect of the cattle, the processors, and the marketers. is a complete value change of the cattle business. Why it is like this is because we are targeting the export market, because we are not looking at cattle for just human consumption in Nigeria. You know, in cattle we have dairy, we have meat. All this falls into this association.
Let me go back to Architect Kerber. Amidst these challenges that we face in terms of security and other things, what are you and your team, your members, doing to bring, to the best of your ability, nutritious meals and food to the tables of Nigerians who love you so much?
You know, there is a symbiotic relationship between the crop producer and the animal rearer, because it is the residue from the
chain.
What we do and in crop production that the animals feed on, and then you need to keep that value chain going for there to be milk, which we still import. We have a deficit of milk, and it's very serious that we import. We have a large import bill from milk. And then for powder, for you know, I mean, powdered milk, for instance, is a very costly thing. We make yogurt, and now it's difficult to buy both fresh and the powdered milk. So it's there are many things that we deploy to be able to optimize productivity. Now we have to look at science. We have to look at technology. We have to look at innovation. Now, in very small plots of land, even in the urban setting, you can produce so many crops and you can raise all kinds of animals.
True.
And we encourage our farmers to deploy that. And then we also think that we should not only produce during the rainy season. We should also produce all year round. So we encourage people, even where you have flood, when the waters recede, there will be residual moisture. In the residual moisture, you can plant again. That is in one season. You can plant, yes, you suffered some setback, but you can also use the residual moisture to produce something. And you should also use seeds that are resistant to drought, so that drought does not kill your plantation. So these are all the things that we sensitize our farmers to do. You know, here I represent AFAN. AFAN is the umbrella body of even Alaji's outfit should be under us. And, you know, we should be able to coordinate all these things. And while we are there, we are doing two things. We are ensuring that the real farmer gets it. And it doesn't matter whether the man or woman is carrying the card of AFAN. Once he is a real farmer, he will contribute to the food system.
True.
So therefore, we ensure that he or she gets that whatever is given. So if we do that and we replicate that in the states, all our chairmen in the states are also members of the working committee, where the governor of the state is the chairman. And in the local governments, our chairmen in the local governments are also members of the working committee, where the chairman of the local government, 774 of them, are the chairpersons of that working committee. Now, the purpose of our participation is twofold. We make sure that the right farmer gets it. Two, we also do monitoring and evaluation. Like this reports that we got, that some people took money from farmers. It will not come out unless
if you don't
we are
do
there.
M&E.
Because we are there, we are the mouthpiece of the people. You cannot change our people and we'll keep quiet.
Good. Okay, but good one. We need to go on a break now. We will come back. The conversation is very interesting, and we're talking about all of this because we want the best for our farmers. Remember, no farmer, no happy farmer, no happy Nigeria. Our second break beckons. We'll take it. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. This weekend it's been all about food security. You know the importance of food to man. We need food to survive, and our guests have been doing justice. We're supposed to go to Alhaji Ilyas. Please, sir, there's something you said that caught my attention, and that's the fact that you were once president of Poultry Association, something like that. There's something that's been bothering me, and that's the fact that people say that our poultry farmers in Nigeria, in order to make profit, they feed this poultry, these birds, with substances that are not so good for human health to make them grow big. Is it true?
They are very vulnerable. They are vulnerable to many diseases. So if you feed them with anything that is harmful to man, it is also harmful to them because, I mean, maybe your biology, you need to look at it very well.
Well, that's true, that's true.
How can you make it better for us in terms of affordability, in terms of accessibility, in terms of product quality? Tell us more.
Now that there is a Ministry of Livestock, I think what the ministry will concentrate is how can we improve in our livestock production in Nigeria, and how can we engage the farmers, and how can we educate people to know that this livestock business is not a Fulani business. Because how people are looking at it is, if you mention livestock, they just consider it as a Fulani business. But it's not like that. What of the people who are doing it overseas? Are they Fulanis? They are not. But they produce and do it. You import your milk from Holland and other countries. Look at Brazil and others. Are they Fulanis? They are not. So if you talk about livestock, they should stop thinking that, yes, this is a Fulani business. When Buhari's government introduced a this thing, they have been saying that this is a Fulani man, he wants to carry our land to give Fulani. It's not like that. It's because they don't understand. If to say they understand the program is a nice program.
But help us understand. Help us. Simplify it so that we can buy into.
Like you now as a staff of NTA, you can go into livestock production. Before you retire, 5 years to your retirement, you can go into livestock production, learn about it, do it, and understand that, yes, by the time you have 5 cattle in your range, 1 male, 4 other females, maybe in that 5-year times, you will be able to get about 15 cows in your range.
I never thought as somebody, a civil servant, I can actually delve into a livestock business. So I mean, it's a good thing to know. Now, architect farmer, I like to call you. You're an architect, you're a farmer. Funding is a challenge, whether we like it or not, as far as agricultural process is concerned. And then we have the National Agricultural Development Fund to bridge the gap. How well is it doing?
As far as I am concerned, and the question that you asked, the NAFAN, I mean the NAFD, or the National Agricultural Development Foundation, is just beginning. And it's work in progress. And from what I have seen, I've had meetings where they also attended. And I know that they are already interfering or intervening in some areas. We are going to do some tractorization or farm machinery that will come from about 4 sources. The evolution of the development fund is so that it makes it easier for the farmers to access credit. So you can be a farmer.
Yes, I will.
Nobody will question you, and in fact, you can explain a lot of resources that will come to you through agriculture and all that. So everybody, look, agriculture or food security is everybody's problem.
I'm going to farm.
Everybody in Nigeria should really put their hand on deck
on the plow
to be sure that there is enough food for all.
Please come along with us. We're journeying down now to Kwara State, where NTA Ilori have been working this past week to bring us real information about what's happening with their own experiences, as together as a nation, we make a path, a progressive path to food security.
Kwara State is largely based around agriculture, mainly coffee, cotton, groundnuts, cocoa, palm oil, and kola nut crops. Other key industries are services, especially in the city of Ilorin. Farmers producing agricultural produce are scattered in remote villages, while consumers are in semi-urban and urban areas. This produce have to reach consumers for its final use and consumption. Farmers are faced with a lot of challenges when bringing these products to the consumers.
The high costs of bringing food from the rural areas to the urban center is very high, and this has been some of the challenges that is making food, the high cost of food, to be very exorbitant presently.
During the wet seasons, the bridges, the rural rivers, they used to overflow their banks. So because of lack of bridges that connect communities to community, they find it difficult to bring this produce from the rural areas to the urban areas. And then the worst case happen when they want to bring perishable goods, perishable agricultural products like tomatoes, especially tomatoes. So, by the time they now bring this from the rural area to the market, then straight to the urban center, it used to get spoiled.
A market channel or channel of distribution, which is defined as a path traced in the direct or indirect transfer of a product as it moves from a producer to an ultimate consumer or industrial user. The role of markets and distribution network in ensuring equitable food distribution cannot be overemphasized.
Marketers help to distribute most of the food items that have been produced in the rural areas to those who are going to consume them. They go inside the rural areas to bring some of these food items to the market for people to buy. And they have been doing that. I think they have been achieving a lot on that.
The role played by middlemen or distribution network is in ensuring efficiency and effectiveness in distribution of products.
Since we don't have the access to go to the farm directly to buy from our for those manufacturing that those people that is bringing the cassava, so it's what they sell for us. That's what we buy. That's what we will sell.
Some of the typical marketing channels for different product groups are channels of rice, channels of other food grains, channels of vegetables. These channels have great influence on marketing costs such as transport, commission charges, and market margins received by the intermediaries such as traders, commission agents, wholesalers, and retailers. All Farmers Association of Nigeria, Kwara State chapter explained how agricultural products are distributed and their roles in promoting agricultural development and food access from rural to urban areas.
We as association, like I said earlier, we would like a kind of situation where we have farmers market, but that is when we have adequate government intervention. If not, this kind of control measures will not be able to be implemented.
We train farmers because most of the farmers, before they engage in the farming activities, we make sure we train them, and it is this method of training that helps them to increase their yield.
However, the channels is considered as good or efficient, which makes the produce available to the consumer at the cheapest price. Also ensures the highest share to the producer, who can also be referred to as the farmers.
Each time I see look at the agricultural chain, I discover that women are always down the chain. I'm saying this to say that it comes to maybe harvesting,
yes,
the marketing
we are
aspect,
there in so many sectors,
yes,
especially in the market. You know, when we go to the market, we're talking to women just like us, and sometimes it's with great pain that they tell us that there's been an increase by perhaps 1,000 and 2,000 in several items we come to purchase.
Yes. Now, holding that thought, I want to ask Alhaji a question, because there's also gender issues in agriculture. There's gender issues where women are not given as much access to the real farming. I don't know, he's laughing. I don't know why you're laughing, but it's a serious thing. Women are not given as much access to farm like the men. Do you think that if women are given, because I know in some cultures, women are not even allowed to own lands. I come from one of such cultures. So if women are given enough access to land and to allow them to farm like the men, do you think it will also help to our path to food security?
Well, in Afan, we encourage women and youth to join us and to farm. In fact, we recognize there are at least 3 or so associations for women that are quite vibrant, and they are working very hard, and they are really contributing to the food system. So I'm surprised when you tell me that women are not given a chance to do it, because I even learned the the poultry business that I was talking to you about because my wife was doing it at the backyard.
Yes, women can do that.
So as far as I'm concerned, women play a very important role in agriculture.
True, sir.
And they need encouragement.
True.
We need to encourage them to do more because they are the people who go to the market who know where the shoe pinches, because when you come back from work and you are very hungry and tired, you ask your wife for food.
Yes.
True.
Whether you give her enough money or not, you expect good food on the table. So it's better you teach her or you allow her to learn all it entails to produce the food.
Okay.
So as far as I'm concerned, we should do that. And then generally, globally, there is the issue of inclusion.
Inclusion.
So women and youth and even the disabled must be allowed to play a very important role in the food system for it to be quite efficient, to be sustainable, and for you to have a global look to it.
Indeed.
Of course, I have seen complaints by some market women saying that they buy from traders, people who go to the farm gate to buy and then bring to the city to sell. Yes. That's why we cannot use Abuja, Port Harcourt, Lagos as barometers of
exactly,
food prices.
Sir.
Because, you know, people who do this business of selling to others go to the crannies.
They go directly.
Of nooks and crannies of Nigeria to buy, and then because of transport costs and some other logistics, the prices have to be high.
Okay.
So, and this is what obtains. I mean, if you tell me that, for instance, you are not buying egg because it is very costly, because a crate is 5,000, 6,000, I know that the farm gate is not up to that. So, but the person who engages in bringing this to Abuja, for instance, will have to factor transportation, his losses and all that, and even cost of funds. So this is why I said everybody should start looking at farming or agriculture as a business, not something that you do because I mean, it's a chore just to feed yourself. No, because in fact, in my religion, there is no way you can go to bed when you have food and your neighbor doesn't have. Even if you don't give your neighbor directly, look, his children will come and start eating in your own house. So it is in your larger interest for you to be able to be equitable, that like or love for yourself what you love for your neighbor as well. Because otherwise you cannot have the same symbiosis that obtains, that makes the world go round.
Interesting. Thank you. Thank you for that angle.
True Nigerian
you know,
spirit.
Already many of us are going beyond our homes. It's a given. When you see the stern faces of people around you, you are moved. It becomes imperative to add extra rice to the pot. I was at the market recently and I was telling, when I was trying to price, no women must price things. As I was pricing, when I told the man that I'm going to make for my entire, you know, more than my household, do you know he removed 1,000 from the meat I was purchasing? Amazing. Let me ask you something, Alhaji Bulama. I've heard about insurance, and Patience just asked Architect Kabir about financing, grants, loans. How is it with you and your association? Are there people who have had access to loans, to grants? And have you heard about insurance? Is it for the man who is with the cattle, or is it for the cattle themselves? And how is it working out?
Yeah, first of all, let me start from whether my people got grant or not. In the cattle industry, we didn't enjoy much in that grant. I would not say zero, but much need to be done. And for the insurance, yes, the cattle has to be insured so that if there is anything that is happens around the production process, the insurance will take care of the production aspect of it. But the loan issue, the government did less in this sector of livestock. Now that we have the new ministry, Mr. President is the co-chair of this ministry. Mr. President is the chairman, Jega as co-chair. Then also another professor, Mahmoud Yahya, is the secretary of that committee. I think they should look at it and engage the stakeholders to give them maybe advice on how to...
A holistic view
I
of
know
what
they
is
have
happening.
the plan and it's good. Well, government has did well by creating the ministry. Now they should look at how to go about in bringing in the grants as loans to give the farmers to go on productions. These farmers will be a group of people, not only from villages. They can be a group of people from anywhere in this country. Either you are a civil servant, either you are a businessman, whoever you are. If you are interested in livestock production, then the body, the associations will be guiding and do things in cluster, whereby things will be monitored so that they will ensure that, yes, after collecting the money, there is a refund. And it's good for livestock because if you are in fattening, you fatten for 3 or 4 months. And if these things are in cluster, it will be easy. And by the time you sell after 4 months or 3 months in a year, then you will be able to pay back what you are due to pay and earn whatever you're supposed to earn. So if you are to do it in 4 months, you will be able to do it 3 times in a year. So if a farmer was given 5 years to run the business, in that 5 years, you do it three times a year. You will see before the 5 years and you pay the loan and still have that particular product with you and you go on. So that man is settled and some other people that are attached to him.
Settled as
so
well.
if government would look at it this way, you know, even the manure, if we go into livestock production, we don't have to buy NPK fertilizer and others. We'll be using this organic manure, which will be good and more healthy for our people and for even export of our food items is because we are failing to use that organic
manure.
You can export yam in Ghana, but you cannot do it in Nigeria. But you can take your Nigerian yam to Ghana and it will be exported out. So if we can consider it done now, if we go into mass production of livestock, issue of fertilizer is even going to be a story.
Okay. All right, I'm talking about finance and agricultural financing. Let's allow NTA, Mina, further our conversation.
A nation endowed with vast agricultural potential relies heavily on its agricultural sector to fuel its economy and ensure food security. Yet, the path to achieving consistent food security is fraught with challenges, particularly in agricultural financing. For many Nigerian farmers, accessing affordable credit and investment capital is a significant hurdle. Smallholder farmers, who make up a majority of the agricultural sector, face high interest rates, stringent collateral requirements, and complex loan application processes.
As you can see, I'm on my farm. This is my farm. I've been finding it difficult to access loan from the bank. This is because they demand for too much documents and collateral. I cannot provide all this because I find it difficult to even feed my family.
Recognizing these challenges, the Nigerian government and various organizations have initiated policies to improve agricultural financing. Programs like the Anchor Borrowers Program aim to provide farmers with timely access to credit and essential inputs like fertilizers.
Just about some months ago, we have partnership with Meseda, which is a cooperative, and we are targeting to empower about 1,000 women, which by that it will help to build more women on business. So it's one of the policy which we are believing that it will help to develop women and youth.
These efforts are beginning to bear fruit. Across Nigeria, some farmers have successfully accessed loans, invested in better tools and seeds, and significantly improved their yields.
I was able to access the loan from the bank. I used the money to buy farm equipment. As you can see, my farm this year is better than last year.
While challenges remain, the path to food security in Nigeria is becoming clearer. Through concerted efforts in agricultural financing and supportive policies, Nigeria can ensure that its agricultural potential is fully realized, securing a stable and prosperous future for its people.
We need to target the right farmers. We need to have what we call a database. In anything you are doing, obviously, if you don't have database, I don't think you'll be able to have an effective planning. And if you look at the way we are going as a government, honestly, when it comes to data, we are completely away. We are far away from reality. And I don't think there will be any way, there will be anything that could be done to improve agricultural production if we don't have data on ground. The government should do much by providing subsidy, by making sure that the inputs get to the farmers, to the right farmers. I think with this little, if we'll be able to do that, much will be achieved.
Food security in Nigeria is not just a dream, it is a journey that begins with the right support for our farmers. Together, we can cultivate a future where every Nigerian has enough to eat.
The future is here right now. The future is in the studio. The future is in your homes. The future is in our nation. Everyone is on high alert now because we are discussing food. And it's very interesting that all of us have a role to play. But something we took away from that package was about no adequate information in terms of systemic data to guide those who are even bringing in resource, to organize, to know the real farmer. He says, many people are working blindly. Perhaps that's how most of the loans and grants did not touch base with those who are actually going to the farms. Architect Kerber, please share more light on that.
Well, it's shameful that as Nigerians we are not capable of, or we are not able to get exact data on population of even Nigeria.
I agree.
How many Nigerians are there now? So there have been many efforts. And in fact, I remember in 2001, 2002, 2003, monies were even kept aside for farmers' data capture. I remember attending a meeting in the office of the Chief of Staff, where some people were given 2.8 billion to do data capture. And at that time, they reported that they had data of about 2.3 farmers. And I said, when I was asked, I said I was not aware of it, that I was president of farmers and I didn't know anything about it. And I remember the vice chairman of the Food Security Council, I think the former governor of Kebbi State, now Minister of Planning, also said he was not aware that it was being done. The Minister of Finance at that time said she was also not aware. The FEPSAN, the president of FEPSAN said he would gladly have the number of farmers because it would help in his, because the farmers buy his fertilizer. So I think the then Chief of Staff said, well, the presentation looked lofty, but it would have to be verified to be accepted. And I think that led to the removal of some of those actors at that time. So we need to know the number of people who are in the business of food production to be able to really reach them. And we need to do this as transparently as possible. And I know that the World Bank has even given some money, $433 million. That as I used to know, it was in the CBN, and it's supposed to go through NIMSI to be able to capture the data of our farmers, because it's the population of the whole country, and you can easily know who is a farmer. And you can, use many parameters. Now there is good science, good technology, there is IT. You can easily know everything about my farm, for instance. You can establish all the parameters that there are, so you know the coordinates of the farm. If you know the coordinates of a farm and you know the soil type, you can also know the fertilizers that will be used there efficiently. You can also know that the kind of crop that will be planted on that soil, and that's how you really take the country out of these stresses. The government has to come in, and the private sector should also be encouraged to do that. You cannot just leave it in the hands of government. We are businessmen. Alhaji now is a producer of livestock. He has members. The members who are serious, who are putting in their business, are they going to put money where they don't know? They have to put money to develop whatever they are doing.
Okay.
So everybody should really open their eyes and open their minds to the fact that there is a lot of work to be done to be able to do this thing properly.
Okay. I mean, data continues to be a challenge in Nigeria. I mean, even in the housing sector, they will say, when they say housing deficit, you will hear between 17 to 20 million houses in deficit. That figure has been going around for so many years. We need to know the real figure. We need to know how many we are as Nigerians. We need to know the number of our farmers. That's the only way we can truly plan and implement effectively. While we hold our thoughts, let's go on the break. We are here, so don't go away. Welcome back. The conversation is still on, and it is on the path to food security. Thelma, before the break, we're talking about what's the financing aspect of it?
Finances, grants.
Yeah.
We also spoke about associations.
Yeah,
Earlier he had said that public civil servants, agriculture in its any form and shape, the entire value chain is the only thing that public servants are allowed to fully dive in. Okay, we are willing to dive in, and there are many associations. Let me ask you first. You talked about civil servants coming to clusters, you know, and getting involved in agriculture, livestock, and every way. How will you capture us? How do we know where to go? How are you even capturing all your members nationwide?
Well, our own association of National Association of Cattle Dealers, Processors and Marketers, take all aspects of the cattle value chain. Like, you know, we have Mieti Allah as cattle producers, we have some other associations. So all associations that are into cattle business, both Mieti Allah, the Butchers Association, the Sarakun and Zango, who are the custodian of cattle market, the cattle dealers who buy from one market to another, the Dilalis were all bring together to form this body. So
okay, this all livestock?
This National Association of Cattle Dealers, just mainly on cattle alone.
Cattle.
We don't deal with sheep and goats. We are only concentrating the cattle value chain. So if we want to get our data in the butchers who process the meat, we can get it through Circuit Power. If we want to get our data in Circuit Zango for the Dilalis who sell, who mediate the marketers, we can get it through Circuit Zango. For the cattle dealers who buy and sell, moving around, we have their associations also. We can get that one through them. Then for these people who go into production or rearing, also we have. So this is how we do it. But for you to come in, who are not part of this group, we do what we call cattle invest. For those who are interested in cattle business, you either want to go into cattle fattening, cattle processing, cattle dairy, or whatever you feel you wish to. Some export even these horns. Some export blood, some the bones. So all of those. Some are into manure. They buy the manure and go and process it, do fertilizer. Some go for biogas. They get gas, they get electricity, and do fertilizer from this cattle pool. So we have all those things. So the cooperatives of every, let me take example, Voice of Nigeria. Okay, the staff of Voice of Nigeria, they have cooperative society.
How can you sit here in NTA and be calling Voice of Nigeria?
It's
NTA.
Okay, let's assume NTA.
Yes.
NTA have their cooperative society, and they want to go into maybe cattle production, or they want to go into cattle processing. Like you have link where you can sell your meat. Then we will show you this is how you fatten your cattle, this is how you can slaughter and process it in a good hygienic way. We can attach you with a mini abattoir that is very good, and good hygienic practice is practiced there. Then you can now process your meat and take it to your customers. You can, your cooperative can liaise with, or look for market in some of the hotels. Maybe Sheraton, Nikon, and what have you. That you have your cooperative and you process this and that. So they will buy from you, then we engage you, we tell you,
how to do it,
the contribution and what have you. We have that plan in this body.
Okay, yeah, there's a whole lot of messages coming here. Some Victor Onoye says we must achieve food security beyond what we see on TV. It said, let's take advantage of our population and convert NYC to one-year compulsory farming designated farms with top-notch security. They should convert our NYC. Hajia from Edo says she's into fish farming and she doesn't know where she can get her support from, that there's no support for fish farmers. Yeah.
Let Engineer Kabir round up our conversation now.
With that.
Sorry, Architect Kabir.
I say engineer.
Well, you see, what NTA is doing is waking everybody up, calling us to elaborate on what is going on. And I'm sure you also invite government to tell the whole country what is going on. And that is quite advantageous because people will know exactly what to do and where to go for information and all that. And some of us who are leaders of associations, we can tell you that there is no difficulty in joining. Even people who intend to get into anything are welcome. You can come to us. We can tell you, like Alaji said, you will be told on what you can get from being a member of the association. So, and once you know the potential, you can now put your widow's mite to begin, and then you will simply build up on it. Then the fish farmer. Now we are very happy that there is a livestock ministry, of livestock development. Now, fisheries and aquaculture are all under livestock. And so, as far as I'm concerned, it will be very clear on what you do. I also do fish farming. And then there are many windows on fish farming. There are many support windows that can come to fish farmers and aquaculture. So she should be rest assured that especially when the ministry takes off, a lot of things will be opened and everybody else will be part of the
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Hajia, have you heard?
Alhaji Bulama, your final words in 30 seconds or less.
Okay, what I will say is let government try to encourage farmers to go into ranches. It will be done by giving them loans. You know, to build a ranch, you have to do it in a such way that, yes, it will look good and it will serve the purpose. Because it is when we have the ranches that we will be able to get our fertilizer as when due and how we want it. And also, like somebody mentioned, NYSC students need to be put together to learn all this things. Even before their service, they will know what to do. They will not be waiting for government to employ them.
Indeed. We thank
More
you
especially
very
the
much.
student in school will be going to participate in this business so that they will be able to
We need
go
to
for
go
their
now.
business.
Thank you so much. We've enriched our conversation and our knowledge today on Weekend Deal. The path to food security is all of us, for all of us to take. Let's do it where food should not be a privilege, it should be a right for us all. God bless Nigeria. God bless Nigeria. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.